姆灵粮堂一个国际性的教会，许多来自世界各地、有着不同肤色、不同国籍的人们聚在这里，共同唱诗赞美。这里的大家长田口俊 Jeff 是一位日益美籍的牧师。2007年和妻子 Heather 为了宣教来到台湾，他们不仅为这一块土地无悔奉献，也在台湾领养了一位唐氏症小女孩 Emilia。今年5岁的 Emilia 活泼可爱 ，Jeff 和 Heather 两夫妻从领养她的那一刻，就把她视为上帝所赐最珍贵的礼物。即使这条教养之路并不那么好走，但他们却始终用乐观与信心面对。
你好，我是金玉，欢迎收看真情部落格。今天来到我们节目当中的这一对呢，是异国婚姻的宣教士夫妇啊，他们共同来到台湾，而且在台湾他们还领养了一个很可爱的小女孩。当然，台湾对他们来说呢，现在已经是情感当中难以割舍的一部分了。我们来欢迎田口俊 Jeff， 还有韩欣嘉 Heather， 欢迎你们。Jeff， 其实从你的 outlook 我们看不太出来 ，Where are you original from？I
was born in the United States, and I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, how about Heather?
I was a military kid, and so I grew up all around the world, and in fact, I lived in Taiwan when I was a child back in the early 70s.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes. And then grew up back in the U.S. and went to college and university in South Dakota.
所以你们其实都是美国人，可是你们都是宣教士 ，and you have to go to different countries, right? Then how did you meet?
We actually met originally online, and I saw that he was a pastor, and originally I saw that he was Asian, he was Japanese, and I decided, I don't think I'm interested in this. But what happened is I got very connected to what he was doing in missions. And so we connected, and I sent him an email. He sent me an email back. And for about 3 months, we wrote back and forth, but mostly about an outreach that I was going to participate with him in China. Then in October of 2005, we actually met for the first time in China. Yeah. And when we met in China, it was an interesting time because we were both just it felt like we'd known each other forever. And a couple days into the outreach, I looked at Jeff and I said, hey, we've been talking a lot about other people and other things, but I'm interested to find out, how do you feel about me? And he said to me, Heather, you are everything I want in a wife. I would travel the world with you. And I was like, everything a woman wants to hear from a man, right? So that was the end of October 2005. By the end of December 2005, we were married.
Wow!
December 30th, yeah.
Oh, 那么快. Why did you propose to Heather so quickly?
I was not the type of person who stays in the United States. I'm the type of person who moves around the world. I love mission work. And so I knew that the person that I would marry would be a person who is not afraid to travel. And so Heather was that type of person. She already had been to many different countries, and she's been to very difficult countries and very difficult living situations. And so that was a very convincing thing for me.
这两个宣教士其实做了非常多的宣教的工作，但是上帝对他们除了婚姻之外，还有另外一个计划是他们意想之外的，就是其实你们结婚以后就搬回美国了，然后结婚半年 ，Heather 你就怀孕了，对不对
？I got pregnant about 6 months in, and about 2 weeks after we found out we were pregnant, we also lost the baby.
Is it very hurt? I mean, very hurt feeling.
Yeah, the emotions that you go through when you've had the joy that life is in you. You know, I firmly believe that when Jeff and I got pregnant, and that there was a baby in me at that moment, right? And so that is a child, and we were thrilled for that because that's what we had wanted at the beginning. And so the emotions that I went through were very traumatic, And yet I knew that I had to just walk through those emotions. I knew that I had to let God kind of walk through them with me.
The thing that I did not expect was my own personal emotions, because I didn't realize how difficult it would be. And so there are times where I would just cry. And even today, when you think about it, it's even difficult, because that was our child.
但是这样的状况不是只有一次 ，Heather miscarriage about 3 times.
About 3 times, yeah, that we know of.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a very difficult journey, because our number one desire, and still even a hope we cling to today, is that God will give us a biological child.
Did you complain, or did you ask why? 3 times, that's,
It's a lot.
too much for a mother.
Yeah, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever complained to God about it. And just, you just hear God in something, right? Or you hear a song or something, and you just know God is there. And ultimately, my life is not about giving birth to a baby. My life is about glorifying God, and it's not about rules and religious ways, but it's just my heart, my passion is about who He is.
What would you say to the people who are in a very strong grief?
I've come to the conclusion that God is a good father. I come to the conclusion that He looks out for our best interests, and that by giving thanks for the situation, even though it's difficult, is a demonstration that I trust Him.
看着 Emilia 无忧的笑容，活蹦乱跳地穿梭在各个角落，很难想象刚出生时的她，除了有唐氏症外，还患有严重的先天性心脏病。然而 Jeff 和 Heather 决定无条件爱她，全心呵护照顾，给她一个快乐又温暖的家。
我第一次认识 Heather 和 Jeff， 其实是我看到他们 Heather 抱着一个那个唐氏症的女孩，然后我后来询问其他姐妹，她说哦，那个是她的孩子，他们领养。所以那时候其实我第一次来教会没有跟 Heather 讲到什么话，可是我那时候比较感动的是说，一个外国人来到台湾，然后他们领养一个唐氏症的孩子。
去了那个孤儿院，当他们一看到 Emilia 的时候，他们就爱上她了。所以虽然在电话当中那时候也没有说很想或怎么样，但是他们就是也有被感动，就是说我们还是去看一下好了。对，但是他们跟我说，他们一看到就知道我们要他。
而且你知道 Emilia 需要开刀，对，所以这个也是一种负担，财务方面也是一种负担。他们知道就是有那么多山，就要爬很多山，可是他们觉得 OK 好，我们先照顾这个小孩，爱他，跟他一起跑。
我觉得他们很深的了解的一个部分就是耶稣永远不改变的爱，对，然后他们把那个爱放在他们跟Emilia之前的关系。
好不容易走出了这个流产的伤痛，他们其实开始想说，那会不会有一个很好的心意是让他们去领养孩子，然后让他们的爱可以给一些很需要的人呢？ So you contact with the home of God's love, right?
Yes.
Is what kind of response they give to you?
Well, I picked up the phone and I called them and I said, I'm interested in finding out what will it take to adopt a child. She said, well, actually, right now, we have a child who has Down syndrome, who is 4 months old. Mm-hmm. Would you be interested in her? Mm-hmm. And I said, yes. I said, we would be interested. And I said, can you please send us the details on her, a picture of her? Mm-hmm. And so they did. That was a Monday. On Tuesday, we got a picture of her. On Wednesday, we went to Iman to visit her. Mm-hmm. On Thursday, we filled out the paperwork. And on Friday, they accepted us. And 2 weeks later, she lived in our home. Very quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
But actually, the first time when you heard about the girl with the Down syndrome, right?
Yes.
Did you actually have mixed feelings?
Yeah. I got off the phone and I looked at Jeff, and right away I just started crying. I was like, whoa. And like that, I mean, just so fast, the emotions were, wow, we could have a baby. Oh, she has Down syndrome. Oh, we could have a baby. That's how fast it was. So the emotions were, yes, they were mixed, but they were mixed because it was so fast. Really? Really? This is what I'm going to get? Wow. This is crazy. Yeah.
Did you remember the first time you saw Amelia?
Oh yes, and she was just very cute, and so I knew that when we went there that there would be a good possibility that we would adopt her.
虽然说透过照片他们已经看到了这个唐氏症宝宝，但是其实后来也知道说，她除了有 Down syndrome 之外，she still has the heart problem.
Yeah, she had surgery for the heart problem when she was 6 months old, and so when we got her, she was 4 months old. So 2 months after we got her, she had to have heart surgery.
Is that a very difficult surgery?
Yes, it was.
She spent 28 days in the hospital, and 26 days of it was in intensive care. And so we were only allowed to see her 2 times a day. So we would come in the morning and see how she was, and then come in the afternoon and see how she was, and then come back the next day.
Wow. Supposedly the surgery is very dangerous, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. She's very young, right? Only 6 months old. Her heart is just so small. And the doctor is amazing to be able to go in, and we were blessed because we had a doctor, we had actually the head of the department at Taiwan who did the surgery, and so God just set us up with the best people for our daughter. You know, honestly, she had only been in our home 2 months at that time. We knew when we adopted her she would be having to have this surgery, so we were prepared for that. And I talked to my mom at one point when we were going to adopt her. My mother knew that she had to have the surgery, and she said, Heather, are you prepared to adopt this baby and then possibly lose this baby right away? Right? I said, yeah. You know, one of the things that happened when we were in the hospital is people asked us, you know, about why did you adopt the baby? And one of the things that we said to people was, you know, how can we have a God that loves us so much, sent his son for us, but I can't take care of this little baby? You know, that's the least I can do for God, right? That's the least I can do. And so I, during the surgery, it was, the fact that we were so scared because it took so long, but then in the end, it wasn't a problem. We trusted God to bring her through, you know? And she did wonderful. She did wonderful. And we got through it. She got out, and she never had complications since then.
In the hospital, did doctor or nurse ask you why you two adopt a kid like this?
Yes.
They did ask us, why would you do that? And I said, I don't understand the question. And she said, well, you know, not too many people would adopt a child with Down syndrome. And so why did you? And for me, I had been involved in ministry to people with disabilities for many, many years by that time. And I was taught by my teacher that, you know, a child with a disability is just actually a normal child with just some differences. And so I would, you know, I spent a lot of time traveling the world and working with children with disabilities. We built a school for disabled children in Africa, so I was used to that. And so what I told the nurses and the doctors is, I don't see the difference. You know, I see her as a perfect creation of God that needs a home, and our desire is for her to grow up to be the best that she can be, and not to put her in an institution or anything like that, but to be able to raise her up to be the person God wanted her to be, and to give her all the opportunity to do so.
A lot of people will say to me, you know, oh, you know, 爱心, right?
对。
And I just look at them and I say, no, we're the blessed one. You know, she blesses us. And I know 爱心, you know, just you have a lot of love to give, but really since having her and in the hospital, even with her, she blessed us so much. The fact that we have a child, you know? And when the doctors and nurses asked, and they were just so confused, why? It's like, because she's a human being, you know? She's precious. The babies on the bus go, where? Oh.
当 Emilia 进入到 Heather 生命中后，她和台湾的连结又紧密了一层。从小到大和台湾总有不解之缘的她，却也曾经在这里受挫，甚至让她心中产生抗拒。
他那时候好像就是在台湾工作的时候，有一些可能比较不好的回忆吧。后来就是 Jeff 上帝呼召他要再回到台湾的时候 ，Jeff 会觉得说 Heather 好像不愿意，所以他不敢提。
神就对 Jeff 说：“我要你来台湾当牧师。”然后呢，他对这个意向挣扎了很久，因为他知道 Heather 已经不喜欢台湾了，不想回来了。那 Heather 呢，也是一个非常就是有关系很观察很强的一个人，所以他知道他们在度假，但是他看到 Jeff 的就是闷闷的，他知道说心里面一定有藏什么东西。然后呢，他最后一两天他就说：“亲爱的，你到底在藏什么东西？”对，那 Jeff 就跟他说神所对他说的话。那 Heather 就马上说：“那好啊，为什么不好呢？”
所以他是那种的人，他觉得上帝在感动他做事情，他不会一直怀疑。像我会想问很多事情，可是他买机票，然后就来。对。
虽然说在领养 Amelia 的过程当中呢，他们其实也曾经一开始有过担忧，但是后来呢，真的让 Heather 享受到说，哇，我可以有一个 baby， 我真的是很开心，可以当一个母亲哦。但是其实谈到 Heather 过去，她曾经其实有一度连她可能有婚姻都不太相信，这到底是为什么
？When I actually met Jeff, I was 39 years old. And I just said to God, you know what, God? I'm okay. I'm 39 years old. You know, in 6 months, I'll be 40. I'm okay. And I said, if this is the life that you have for me, God, I fully embrace it, and I'm okay with it.
You have very strong faith. Is that because you come from a Christian family?
I do come from a Christian family. I have a father and mother who love the Lord very much.
Yeah. How many countries did you stay when you were young?
I was in other than the U.S. I was only in 2 other countries, but we would move every 3 years, and so I lived in about 7 or 8 different places. At the end of university, I started to work for a news affiliate in America, and was doing very well. Could have gone all the way to New York and worked in New York, but I realized, it's a very hard life, and my good days were somebody else's bad days, and I decided, I don't know if I want that life right now. And so my sister was living here in Taiwan with her husband, and they were working at overseas radio and television, and they said, hey, we need a video editor. That my degree was in mass communications, broadcasting, and they said, would you come over and edit videos? So I did. So I left my life, came over here, very dramatic.
Right.
You know, I finished my partying, finished my staying out with my friends. Good job, but it's okay. I'll go over and do this for God. That's what I thought at the time.
And did things go well when you come to Taiwan?
At the beginning. At the beginning it was good. But then some things happened, and in my youth, my youthfulness, some decisions were made. I didn't agree with them, and I got very upset because I'm very justice oriented. That was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. And so I went to another extreme, and I met up with some friends who played in a local band, and I started going out, and I started spending too much time with them, and it wasn't a very good representation of who I actually was as a child of God, right? So about 6 months before my contract ended with ORTV, Doris said to me, Heather, perhaps you'd like to go back to America. And I said, okay, yeah, I think it's a good idea I leave, because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing at this time.
So with the unpleasant experience,
yeah,
what make you come back again?
I was really kind of messed up. Who am I? What am I doing? You know, and then a friend of mine said, I have a friend. He lives in Arkansas. He has a production company. Perhaps you'd like to go work for him. So I sent him my resume, but with my resume, I sent a letter sharing my heart about how I wanted to connect youth and video and just show youth, young people, what God was really all about, and visually do cool things and, you know, creative. And 2 months later, he called me and said, I have a job. After being there just a few months, started going to a church. And as I was talking to this one man, he said, what is your vision, Heather? And I said, you know, missionaries come back to America. They spend all the time flying around America telling people about what they're doing and stuff, but they don't rest. So I would love to create videos that help people tell what they're doing while they're overseas, so when they come back, they can rest. He said, I have a friend you need to meet. He works with YWAM. I said, oh, okay. I talked to him. I was very interested in joining him, but in order to join him, I had to do training first with YWAM. And I said, okay, great. I'm going to go to Europe. It's going to be beautiful. I'm just going to sit with God and have a great time. And then I was in church one Sunday morning, and as I sat in church, we were worshiping, and all of a sudden, all I could remember was the Chinese words to the song. It was weird.
Really?
It was weird. And I sat down, and I remember going, no, God, no, please don't send me back to Taiwan. And then God said yes. I said, okay, I will fill out my application, but if I don't get accepted, there's nothing I can do, okay? So I sent my application to YWAM in Taiwan, and they accepted me. So I got accepted. I got on the airplane to come back to Taiwan, and I said, God, I want my DTS, my discipleship training school, to be only people from other countries, no Americans. Got here, well, there was no Americans in my school. There was 26 students, and 23 of the students were Taiwanese, and one guy from Hong Kong, one girl from Japan, and me. So for 6 months, it was me and God. And God said, I have you right where I want you. And I call that time of my life my soul surgery, where God just ripped open my soul and said, now let's take out what doesn't belong there. And in that time, I was able to go back to Doris Brome and to spend some time with her. And really, I went to her one time specifically, and I said, Doris, please forgive me for the way I acted when I was here. Please forgive me for my lifestyle when I was here. And I did not honor you in what I did when I was here. And she was so gracious, and as she always is, and so loving. And she just said, Heather, it's okay. I forgive you. And Doris Brome has been an amazing supporter of mine over the years, and just she's an amazing woman and a really good friend, you know, through a lot of things that I've walked through in missions, because she has such great foundations in missions. But what it also did is it began to kind of ground me in Taiwan.
Wow.
Because I realized actually Taiwan was becoming a part of my life.
So this morning we're going to look at John 10.
那这个早晨我们就要来读约翰福音的第10章。
And what John 10 is about the good shepherd.
站在台上讲道信息的 Jeff， 每字每句都充满力量，却不失幽默风趣。这位在众人眼中亲切热情的 Jeff 牧师，曾经年少叛逆，从教会出走，最终却为了使命而放弃庞大财富与成功事业。
他小时候他觉得他是信义的信仰，不是跟上帝有一个关系，所以他开始了解上帝是他的爸爸，所以他觉得看上帝的角落，他心里改变，他要悔改。
他其实小时候就是基督徒，然后他跟妈妈一起去教会，他很讨厌，他每次都要跟他妈吼说：“我不要去教会，我不要去教会。”可是神真的就是翻转他的一生。他那时候被神呼召要做全职牧者的时候，他是经营这个事业。那他有跟妈妈说，他要放弃这个事业。他妈妈说不可以， 你的工作伙伴全部都是我们家族的亲人朋友，绝对不可以。
他有 business， 但是他同时也是拉斯维加斯的那个区域的，好像也是一个，像应该算台湾的那种里长或怎么样的啦。所以他常常会跑华盛顿，就是所以因为他本身也很喜欢那个政治，所以他是什么都做的。所以他曾经跟我说，他以前是百万富翁。那既然是百万富翁，就是他也有花过100万，就是所以他后来也知道，就是钱没有办法满足他，而且钱也不是一切。
他觉得你决定要成为基督徒之后，你决定把耶稣以为主之后，那个不是 sacrifice， 不是很难过的去说我不要我的公司什么的。可是因为耶稣他已经是 Jeff 的所有的一切。
几经波折，这个 Heather 和台湾的缘分始终都没有断过。那么毕竟呢，他是来自于一个基督教的家庭，他顺服神对他的带领。但是跟 Heather 很不一样的就是 Jeff， 他其实从小对于教会是很叛逆的。So your mom brought you to church when you were very little, right?
Yes. From the time that I was a baby till the time I was about 13, my mother would take me to church, but I wasn't a Christian. I really didn't want to go to church when I was 13. I was more interested in other things. From that particular point on, I saw my life change for the worse. I got involved with a bunch of bad kids. Even though I did very well in school, I hung out with them, learned to smoke cigarettes, drink beer, things like that. And so I'm 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And my life was just chasing one thing after another, but still having a significant emptiness. And so it wasn't until 17 that I actually came to a conclusion that something has got to change or else I'm not going to end up that good.
Have you ever seen your mom weeping for you because you were rebellious?
She really never wept over that, but she kept encouraging me, saying, you can do better than this. You can do better than this.
我想是这个妈妈可能有一直在为你祷告，所以后来其实在这个很空虚的这个年轻的叛逆的生活当中，其实 Jeff 他也慢慢开始有了一个新的机会。听说有一个人对你的影响很大。
After I graduated from high school and I was 17 years old and I was about to enter university, I worked for a auto mechanic shop. So one day, my boss and I were delivering an automobile to a customer, and we normally didn't do that. And then he asked me a very powerful question. He says, what do you think salvation is? And I said, well, you go to church, you get baptized, you go through confirmation, and you teach Sunday school, and I guess you live the rest of your life in church, And he says, I think it's a little different than that. I think it's a relationship that you have with Jesus. And when he said those words, I realized that that's exactly what I wanted. And he said, I was a lot like you. He said, I asked Jesus to come into my life, to forgive my sins, and to make me the kind of person he wants me to be. And so I drove my car out of the driveway, and I turned the corner. And as I was driving down the street, I said, God, if you are real, and Jesus, if you are who you say you are, I need you to come into my life, forgive my sins, and to make me the kind of person you want me to be. And it was like a lightning bolt just hit me, boom. And all of a sudden, my whole view changed immediately.
Wow.
It was like when I was driving the car, everything was black and white. And then as soon as I asked Jesus into my life, everything turned into color. And so there was another man inside the shop who was also a Christian who helped me in the beginning of my faith as well. And he encouraged me to go to a conference with him with Josh McDowell. He was a man who was very good at defending the faith. He worked for Campus Crusade for Christ, and he gave a 6-hour seminar. And I really resisted going to it. I said, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. He
6
said,
hours.
yeah, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go. And I said, no, I don't want to go. He says, I'll meet you at the place where the meeting is going to be. I never saw him the entire conference. So I went there by myself, and the MC said this. He said, at the end of 6 hours, you will know what you believe and why you believe it. After the conference was over, I knew not only what I believed and why I believed it, but what I was going to do the rest of my life. And it was at that time when I was 17 years old that I got called into ministry, and I knew that that's what I would do. After my second year in seminary, I was running out of money, so I needed to do something different. And so my mother said, would you go to, we were living in California at that time, would you go to California and would you start our family business over there? Which our family business was real estate. And so they sent me with some startup money to Las Vegas. I wrote a booklet that said how to buy real estate in Las Vegas. And I told them for a certain amount of money, what I'll do is I will buy you a 3-bedroom home in Las Vegas with a garage for your car. I'll repair it for you, and I will rent it out, and you will have a cash flow every month. In other words, the rent would be more than the mortgage. And so for 4 years, the phone didn't stop ringing. I mean, people call us, and so the business kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was able to make enough money to go back to seminary, so my mother came and helped me with the business. But in 1991, I felt God calling me to pastor a church. And so I told my mother, I said, I'm going to sell our business, and then I'm going to move to this small rural town and pastor a church there.
Wow, how did she react?
She said, you can go pastor, but you will not sell the family business. I said, okay, then who's going to run the business? And she says, I will run the business. And then I went to this small town called Beatty, Nevada, and I pastored there for the next 13 and a half years or so.
13 and a half years?
Pastoring in a small rural community.
So except your mom, there is another woman who had a great impact on you. Her name is Mary Jane, right?
Yes. She entered my life when I first started pastoring, because the reason is that there was a lady who came from a neighboring town, a town just down the road from us. She was born with water on the brain, so she could not communicate that well, and she was disabled, she was handicapped. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to learn to reach her, because I felt that it's very important to be able to reach out to everybody, not just people who we think are normal. And so I didn't know how to do that, but one of the congregation members, a mother, was experienced in this, and she told me, she said, my mother will teach you how to do this. And so I took a 2-day course from her on how to reach out to people with disabilities. And for the next 3 years, I used that to try and reach this girl. And nothing happened for almost 3 years. And then one day I went to preach at the family church, because it was different from ours. I normally don't wear a tie when I preach, but that day I did. And I was walking up to the pulpit to speak, and the girl whose name was Joyce, who I never heard speak before, started going, and waving her hand to come to me. And I walked over to her and I said, Joyce, how are you? What can I do for you? And she noticed that my tie had turned backwards, and she turned it around and set up, and then just escorted, allowed me to go back to preach. And so I said, wow, that's great breakthrough, and that Mary Jane's teaching was correct in having to reach out to a person with a disability. The lessons that I learned from Mary Jane were such that everybody has a right to hear the gospel, including people with disability. Not only that, not only do they have the right to hear the gospel, they have a right to learn. They also have a right to serve. And so these are the things that she had taught me that led us actually to the decision to adopt our daughter, because we don't see the person with a disability as someone who is abnormal.
上学日的早晨 ，Emilia 都会起个大早，乖乖的等待娃娃车来接她去学校。对 Emilia 的教育十分重视的 Jeff 和 Heather 用耐心和包容来教导，期许她能在快乐的环境下自由成长。
Heather 她真的会就是安慰她小孩，对他们有自己沟通方式，对，所以他会拥抱她，然后他知道他想睡觉，对。可是觉得他很快就会平复，就是会听他妈妈。
可能Emilia他在吃饭，可是他不想吃，可能他不想吃完，或是他吃的东西不喜欢什么的，所以他就会开始可能跟你说的一样，就开始发脾气什么的。可是 后来我就看到 Jeff， 他是好像是永远的不会骂他的样子，他就是安慰啊，然后就看看怎么去让他感觉是很舒服的。
Amelia 她敬拜的时候，很自然的就会敬拜去跳舞，她也会喜欢拿那个旗子来挥。那她怎么会这样子？我觉得是因为 Jeff Heather 就是给她完全的自由，让她自由发挥，不会想去控制或者是压制她的天分。
教会有一个祷告会，然后我有一个很好的弟兄，他就是坐在前排，然后我们大家都在敬拜的时候，Amelia 就一直要跟他玩。然后我那个弟兄他就会觉得说，哎呀，这样子不行啊，我们要敬拜啊，怎么可以？他就一直说 No Amelia No 这样子。然后结果 Amelia 就小声的，就是 whisper， 就小声用耳语就说 I see Jesus。然后接下来我的弟兄跟我讲说，他知道神在跟他讲说，陪伴 Amelia 玩的时候，我也是跟你们一起同在。
面对信仰都保持同样热情的这一对夫妻，他们用热情也拥抱了台湾的一个孩子唐氏症的宝宝 Amelia。我们现在就来谈一谈这个可爱的小孩在他们的生活当中所造成的一些影响啊。How old is Amelia right now?
She's 5 years old.
She go to formal school or special education school?
She goes to a regular nursery school, preschool right now. Yeah, not a special school. She's never gone to a special school.
Okay. I heard that Amelia is very talented in arts, right?
Yeah, she loves to draw. Yeah. She
Dance.
Dance?
She loves to dance. She's actually very creative. She loves when we have worship in our church. Oftentimes we'll have flags, and she'll get the flags, and she does the flags very well.
How about music?
Yeah, she'll open up the piano and she'll kind of play on it.
She doesn't pound like a typical child would pound on the piano, but she loves music. She loves to sing, even though she doesn't have a great tune in her voice right now, but she loves to sing too. Yeah.
Yeah. However, did you find educating Amelia difficult?
When she was younger, there was absolutely no problems. She just developed as she developed, and eventually has developed in the same way a typical child will develop. But about to go into formal education in elementary school, we're realizing that it's a little bit more difficult if we don't have a certain structure.
It's fun to watch her learn. I know it's not like a typical child, but what happens is to watch her discover is something that's really enjoyable to us. And she solves complex problems. Like if she wants to reach something that's high, she'll go get a chair and put it up. And for some reason, she learned to do that herself. No one taught her how to do that. So she'll get a chair. She wants to go up and get her own fork or her own chopstick, and she'll climb on the chair and she'll get it and get her stuff, and she'll come back and sit at the table.
How is the interactions in school between Amelia and other kids?
She interacts well. She's very social. She loves to be with kids. She loves to watch them. They just do all kinds of fun things together.
However, will she be bullied? I mean, is there any opportunity that other kids?
We have not seen that here. I mean, the kids that she's around are very accepting, and she's very friendly, and so I don't see that.
Right now, no. But there has been a couple of times when we're out playing someplace out in public or something, and children maybe react funny to her, and she just kind of plays. She doesn't care. It doesn't bother her. And I start to realize, oh, now it is going to start. The older she gets, unfortunately, people's ignorance of who she is will maybe get in the way of accepting who she is. Yes. But at the same time, for Amelia, she does not care.
It sounds like she's a very happy kid.
Yes.
Very.
We also understand that it is our job as parents to raise her to be the best that she can be, and to encourage her to reach the highest level that she can. Because I fully expect for her to live on her own. I fully expect her to have her own job. If she wants to drive, she can drive. If she wants to ride a bike, she can ride a bike. It's fun to watch her. It is fun to watch her, and it's just as much discovery for us as it is for her.
And one of the things that we felt when we adopted Amelia, and actually was prophesied over her, that she will bring joy to many people, you know, and she will bring peace to many people. And I feel that in our family, that she is a person who brings healing to people, to their heart. And so I believe that God is really already, has from when she was a tiny baby till even now, uses her. And every day we pray with her, you know, as she goes out, that when she goes to school and she affects the people, that she will just really show them God's love. Yeah.
So recently you two want to go back to the States, right?
Yes.
Because the education of Amelia.
Right.
Yes.
Both of us just felt very strongly, this is the time. There are opportunities for her in English education. The education system here with Chinese is good. There's a lot of special education. There's a lot of opportunities. But when it comes to like mommy support, because mommy isn't fluent in Chinese, even after all of these years of being here, I realized that I need a support system, and I need people around me that can help me walk her through years that might get a little harder in education, you know, but where she can have the fullest and the most, you know. She is most likely never going to be an Einstein, right? That's not our expectation, but we want her, if she wants to be a dancer, if she wants to be, you know, whatever she wants to be, we want her to have those opportunities to be able to do that. And so we felt like God basically spoke to us and said, she is just as important as any ministry that you're involved in. So this is what you need to do. Yeah.
It's a difficult situation because we really don't want to leave Taiwan. It is a marvelous place to live. We realize that our priorities is our relationship with God first, and then our family, and then our ministry. And so Amelia has needs, and those needs are in the area of education and being able to learn how to speak and a few other things, which, you know, we're better able to do that in an English-speaking society or in the United States. So that was the decision that we came to the conclusion that we must do. And you know, it was a tough decision to make.
Since you two stay in Taiwan for a long time, 有没有什么话要 speak to Taiwanese, the last sharing?
You know, as a pastor and a missionary, you know, the one thing that I appreciate about Taiwan is I believe that the one thing that I wanted to see more than anything else was a great revival, and I believe that revival is here. Having to go back from the United States is very disappointing because I want to see more of that, because we're seeing the rise of Christianity in Taiwan. And so I was very privileged to be a part of it. And now, you know, I spent the last 6 years discipling a lot of men and some women, and getting to see them come into their faith, getting to see them go farther and do better than me is really important. You know, seeing them fulfill the Great Commission first in Taiwan and then begin to move overseas is a significant joy for me. But I do believe that Taiwan is one of those nations that's going to have a significant effect on world globalization or world evangelization.
You know, God has given Jeff and I an inheritance because we have a Taiwanese baby.
Right.
You know, we own a piece of the land. You know, we are a part of this land. So we are excited to see God just pour himself all over this place, and for his love to just permeate people's hearts so that they can go out and they can see who he is and they can do what he desires for them to do.
其实我相信在这对夫妻的身上，你们看见了圣经上有一句话说，靠着那上天加给我的力量，凡事都能做。大部分的人都只想要获得恩典、获得祝福，却忘了去给人恩典、给人祝福。但是当你给的时候，你才会有更多的力量进来。这就是宣教士他们的生命决定要给上帝的时候，他们就被提升，他们就被更加的丰盛，他们就会更像耶稣。当然，我们的 Amelia 在他们的手上，他们是台湾的一份子，希望你们能够常常的回来。谢谢你们为台湾做的一切，谢谢。
Thank you.
Thank you， 谢谢。
你们的老朋友孙越。今天想跟你谈的是一些观念的问题。我在想，这对夫妻，这位宣教士，田口俊，跟这个韩新家，他们为什么要领养的，却是这样的一个孩子，唐氏症的儿子，而且知道有心脏部问题，7个月还要开心脏的刀。很多人在觉得奇怪，我要领养就要领养男孩子，我要领养就要领养个漂漂亮亮的男孩子，为什么他们会这么做？因为他们知道，这是上帝所爱的，他们所做的每一件事，都是上帝所爱的。如果自己，或者是有人生下来的孩子，有一些问题的时候，我们生活自己在诅咒，生活把他丢弃，交给别人，根本不管。谁管？上帝管。上帝让那些个为他做工的这些宣教士，让他们来管。他们愿意挑选的是别人不要的，这就是爱。亲爱的朋友，这一集让我们彼此领受，重新来看看，在我们的生活中间，是不是我们总想要我们自己喜欢的？我们忘了上帝，忘了上帝爱我们所有的人。我们一起做个祷告。亲爱的主耶稣，我们谢谢你，我们借着这一对宣教士，我们在这里祷告。主啊，真的求你给他们力量，给无数人愿意付出爱心，奉主的名去做一些爱心的工作的时候，主你给他们力量，使他们能够圆满，使他们能够成功。我们也知道，在电视机前面有些人仍然还在犹豫，我要领养个孩子，领养什么样的孩子，或者是主让你自己的这些孩子们仰望你。我们唯有从你的角度来看事情的时候，我们才知道这个世界有爱，这个家庭有爱。谢谢你，我们恭敬的感恩祷告，我们学习着如何在你的爱的指示下，我们来做事。祷告奉主耶稣基督的名，阿门。其实我们有的时候会想，我们应该怎么样？我们应该怎么样？想法上中间有很多是自私的，但是我们看看这一对夫妻，他们怎么做？上帝赐福你，跟你的家庭。